Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from the holy hills of Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm less creepy Dan.
Coming up on today's episode. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyways. Okay. Well, coming up on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Joel Osteen.
Oh, that's right.
That's what we did last week.
Yeah,
we said we were going to do it, and we did.
And we did. Sort of.
we did it.
We did it.
We absolutely went to Joel Osteen.
We did. We'll talk about that.
We just
coming up.
didn't stay. No, we stayed long enough.
More than
to be able
enough
to
time.
give you a really nice little revival review. What was it?
It's definitely not a revival.
Well, I think that's what it was patterned after. Anyways, we'll talk about all that later.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be able to tell you, to warn you all about the evils of Joel Osteen. And there are plenty.
Oh,
We're
not happy.
evil.
We are not happy with that man. I was happy with his mom.
With his mom, right.
His mom was at a revival.
And his hot wife.
Yeah, they're in their 50s.
Yeah.
And they were up on those were HD cameras pointing at them, and they
held up.
They
hold up.
There aren't many lines on those.
Hell, his mom wasn't bad looking.
Well, she's had work done too.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
in
That's,
Houston.
you know what? That's the
They're in
work.
Texas.
That's the work of the Lord, right there.
Dr. Lord.
I'm Dr. Joseph Lord. I'll be your plastic surgeon.
Oh,
All right.
Daniel.
What do you got?
Well, I have a story about a new law in Missouri.
You hear that, people? He's got paper.
I'm back to paper. What I realized this morning is that I was laying in bed with my iPad, which is my normal routine before the podcast.
Sure.
And I go through and I, pull up a bunch of stories and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized is that we bought a new printer about 2 months ago that I can just print to from my iPad. And so I was like, hey, this is going to be awesome because I missed having paper.
Okay.
It's been about 80 some odd episodes since we probably really relied on paper.
Yeah.
I've missed it the whole time.
Well, okay.
So I decided to bring it back, mainly because
Frank's
I can
wasting,
highlight it.
Frank's killing trees.
I'm killing trees for the podcast.
the podcast.
Yeah. For you guys. I killed trees for you.
In your name.
So-
I hope you feel pleased about that.
Well, all right. But there's a new Missouri law that's going into effect
Oh, Missouri.
in Missouri that allows for Christmas celebrations in public schools and public buildings.
Oh, good.
But they've been very clever about how they wrote the law.
Okay.
Because, well, let me just read it. Let me read this thing. It says, the new Missouri law says, any state or local governmental entity, public building, park, or school, or public setting or place is not allowed to ban or restrict the practice, mention, celebration, or discussion of any federal holiday.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which, of course, includes Christmas.
But not Eid or
Exactly.
or
Uh-huh.
Rosh Hashanah or any of those things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So initially, the Missouri's governor, Jay Nixon, vetoed the bill back in July.
Okay.
Kudos to Governor Nixon. And the reason that was cited at the time was because of pressing public safety and health concerns related to local government's efforts to enforce existing fireworks ordinances around the 4th of July, another federal holiday.
Right.
So basically, if we read this again, the government's not allowed to ban or restrict the practice, mention, celebration, or discussion of any federal holiday. So you could just be like shooting off bottle rockets, which I don't know if they're illegal or not in Missouri, but let's just say they are.
Right.
We're shooting off bottle rockets in a city park and be like, but I'm celebrating 4th of July.
Right.
This is my state law says.
Right. You can't restrict this.
Yeah.
Nudity is how I celebrate
because this
Christmas.
is how I'm celebrating it.
Can I put a Santa hat on my penis and then just walk around naked?
Well, Yeah. Why not?
I feel like that's
They
a
cannot
celebration
pass laws or ban your practice, mention, celebration, or discussion of a federal holiday.
Right.
So anyways, well, the House wasn't going to have, the state legislature wasn't going to have anything to do with his veto.
Right.
And so they overrode it.
See, here's where I think they're making a very big mistake, because is there any mention in the article of the FFR wanting to do something about this?
Not in this article, no.
Okay. Well, I think this is the kind of thing that would interest the Freedom from Religion Foundation completely.
I would think.
Well, here's the deal. Our team is always looking for a good reason to take something straight to the top, all the way up to the Supreme Court, and try and get a ruling on it.
Right.
If they got a ruling against this, it could have implications that make Christmas no longer a federal holiday.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Which would be awesome. Also, shitty. They'd have to call it. I mean, even if they just switched it to like the federal holiday is now, winter celebration.
Right.
That would be great.
Right.
Because nobody wants to lose that holiday as a free work day and
Dear God, no.
Stuff. But I think it might be good if we got rid of
especially
Christmas as a federal holiday.
Well, what they would probably do, because a lot of employers, or some employers already have, like your elective holidays.
Right.
And then you, as whatever religion, can be like, oh, well, I'm going to take it on Rosh Hashanah.
Right.
Or whatever. Right. For Eid.
Yeah.
And so maybe the federal government could switch to something like that for their employees.
Yeah. I mean,
getting rid of the federal holiday of Christmas.
Wouldn't it be great, though? I mean, I doubt it. I don't think this will happen, just with my limited knowledge of how the legal system works. But wouldn't it be amazing if the unintended consequence of these guys trying to make it okay to practice Christmas in schools, which is probably their express intent?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly where this article ends up going.
Right. So wouldn't it be great if like the unintended consequence of that is that suddenly Christmas is no longer a federal holiday?
Be awesome.
They ruin it for the entire country.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Right. That's what I'm voting for. If Jesus is listening, that's what I want, Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't think he's listening.
Yeah. Well, they did talk to a superintendent of a school district in Missouri. It's in Parkway. I don't know where Parkway is, but anyways, it's that school district. And he says, we have worked so hard and developed a more inclusive culture of the world we live in. He explains that the district has a religious leaders group made up of people of all faiths and backgrounds that meet regularly to work on issues of tolerance and understanding. If needs be, he would lean on that group for assistance with navigating this new law. And then he says, in Parkway, we're so beyond this kind of legislation. If we run into issues, I think we can talk our way through the fact that while we want to recognize people's religious rights, we also want to continue the Parkway culture of inclusiveness. We're not going to promote one faith or one belief system here.
Yeah, I'm sure that that's true.
Yeah. And so, the problem with this world, actually, the problem in this country is that the people who run for office, especially at the state level, are by and large nitwits.
Yeah.
Who have they have this agenda. They've got this one or two issues that just get them all riled up.
Right.
And that's why they're there.
They were a small business owner and they saw how they had to pay X number of taxes and they had to jump through X number of hoops. And so they're so sick of it.
Yeah.
The state making them do all this stuff that they run for state office so that they can change it.
Yeah. And they pass some stupid laws, but what is okay about this country is that we have superintendents like this guy,
right,
who are like, okay, well, that's a really dumb law.
Yeah.
And how am I going to keep my school district working with the value set that we have developed to be an inclusive society?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's obviously that's amazing if it's true. If he actually manages not to have
If he can figure out how to navigate it while the law's on the books, because
Right.
clearly this law will.
Because what's he going to do? A teacher's going to be like, "Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's talk about Jesus and what the true meaning of Christmas is."
Right.
And what's he going to do?
He's got a really hard time.
I mean, he can ban it, but he can't ban it.
He can't ban it. What he has to do is he has to convince everybody to be on their best behavior.
Right.
That's what he has to do. In the meantime, because this law
I wonder if he could
struck
add
down
I wonder
eventually.
If he, right. Oh, obviously. Clearly, this is a law
This will not pass muster
that's
at all.
destined to be killed. But I do wonder if maybe a superintendent of schools could say something along the lines of, "Okay, I can't stop you from talking about Christmas, even though I encourage you not to. But what I can do is say, if you talk about Christmas in my district, you have to also talk about Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Eid, and something else.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like you could pile on. That's not restricting.
No.
That's just saying that's including. That's adding unto.
But it wouldn't work with this law. He couldn't get it in because those aren't those religions don't have federal holidays.
Yeah,
that's why they were so clever with this one.
Yeah.
Is because the federal holidays
But what I'm saying
that
is
are also religious are Christian.
right. But what I'm saying is that this law prevents him from being able to block talking about Christmas.
Yeah.
It doesn't prevent him from tacking on to, if you talk about Christmas, which you are allowed to do, you have to talk about all these other things too.
Maybe.
Might be. That's my workaround.
The way that maybe it could be the way that our school district is going to recognize this religious holiday is by being inclusive.
By discussing all religious holidays.
Yeah.
And talking about
who knows what they could get away with. That's why it's a terrible law.
That and many reasons are why this is a terrible law. All right, well, I'm gonna talk about. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just to tag on to that. I'm going to change the order of how I was going to do things because since we're in sort of the, I don't know, is Missouri considered Midwest?
Yeah,
ish.
No, yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to throw that. I'm going to stay in schools in the Midwest. Is Ohio Midwest? The Midwest confuses me.
Ohio is the Midwest. Missouri is the Midwest as well.
Okay.
However, it did come into the Union as a slave state. Am I right?
I don't. How if I know?
I can't remember. I think it's the Show Me state. I know that about Missouri.
Good job.
Joplin is in Missouri. Let's see what other facts I can come up with.
What other facts
for Missouri?
Also known as Missouri. And there's a lot of Mormon stuff in Missouri.
Yeah.
That we did a video about.
Maybe it didn't come in as a slave state. I can't remember.
Okay, that's enough. We're fine with Missouri. I'm gonna move on.
Oh, Dan's getting a little snippy here.
I'm bored with Missouri. All right. So in you'll recall that we talked about a school in Ohio a while back that had a picture of Jesus Christ hanging. It was a middle school. It was a public middle school, and their reasoning for leaving it up in, I think, the cafeteria or something.
I seem to remember it being in the entryway of the school. So like you came in and it was up above like the main entry.
It hangs in the school's Hall of Honor. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Is. Well, they're honoring Jesus then.
Right. And their reasoning was that it was given to them by students, by a group of students, and therefore it wasn't the school.
Oh, right.
You know.
And it was like given to them back in like 1921 or something
50
like that.
Something or
50s?
I think so. That's my memory, but okay. I don't have it here. Anyway, they were forced to remove it. After reaching a settlement with the ACLU and the FFF. But if you'll recall, the superintendent of that school district said he wouldn't remove the picture even with an order from the school board or a judge, because he said the display comes from a student's initiative, which makes it permissible for display. And then he also got really uppity and was like, he said something about, where is it? Oh, he said some group from Madison, Wisconsin, who knows nothing about the culture of the community wanted him to remove it. And so it was just like, I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. And the principal, I think that was the principal, or maybe, I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, they were going to stand their ground.
Right.
No.
Yeah, well, no, not when laws and courts and court rulings get involved.
So a judge did rule against them.
Yeah.
Said you have to take it down. And that may not have been enough to actually get them to take it down.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what is enough to get them to take it down. The settlement requiring that they pay both the ACLU and Freedom from Religion Foundation nearly $100,000 in damages and legal fees.
Whoa! Are you serious? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, they finally agreed to remove the portrait because the fees were mounting.
Wow.
And it's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
The longer they kept it up, the more these guys were just going to push them. And the more time these lawyers spend on that case, the more they're going to have to pay.
Because it was they saw that it was a losing battle.
It was definitely a losing battle. It was always
it was a lost battle.
It was yeah. It was just how much more money do you want to pour down that hole?
Oh my God.
So
Well, good.
Yeah, way to stand
Jesus
your ground,
is down
guys.
from the public school wall.
Isn't that interesting?
I love
how your moral stand
Yeah.
sort of dissipates once you realize that you're actually like, oh yeah, there are consequences to this shit.
Well, and what I love is this whole sort of like student initiative, like workaround thing, because like having as a youth gone to high school in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when our school was finally ordered to stop having prayers at football games. And so the workaround was a teacher who was uber religious,
right?
Announcing that the way that we could continue having prayer was if some students wanted to pray.
Right.
All on their own. And if you just happen to show up in the press box, there will be a microphone waiting. But, like it was like this total, like, if you happen to, this could be.
I'm not sure if anybody wants
they kept doing it.
A little open mic moment, but.
Yeah. And so it's something similar to what we talked about, I think, on the last episode.
Right.
But that's how it came about. It wasn't students who figured it out.
Right.
A group of students who were like,
not.
oh, you know what we can do? And so I highly doubt that it was a group of students. I mean, maybe a group of students was like, we need a picture of Jesus up. But come on, really?
Right. It was parents going.
It was parents, or it was a teacher who was like, you know what? If you guys just got together and raised some money, you could put a picture of Jesus up.
Right.
So it's not, these don't come from the students.
Well, and what's amazing is that they just don't follow these arguments to their natural consequence, which is to say that if a group of students who were, devious little shits heard, well, this was put up by a student group and blah, blah, blah. What's to stop them from bringing in a picture of Hitler?
Right.
And just saying, well, we like Hitler.
Right.
You can't, why do you get to put up, why do they get to put up Jesus and we don't get to put up Hitler? And then if they, the other thing is then you get them to delineate their lines further, and then you can't stop them from putting up a picture of Muhammad, which would really be offensive and wrong to everybody.
Right.
The Christians,
they would
Muslims,
see why it's wrong.
Right. Right. You're just tempting some smart, deviant kid to fuck with you.
Well, where is the smart, deviant kid?
I don't know. Well, I mean, you'd need a kid that is willing to take that kind of heat, which is a problem.
Yeah. In Ohio? I wouldn't want to take heat in Ohio.
No. Anyway. So there you go.
Would you, Dan, be interested in a round of Jeopardy? Or a Jeopardy-like game?
What is yes?
Well, so we'll get to that in a sec. So this week on Jeopardy, they had a round
for our international listeners. Jeopardy is a game show in which trivia questions are asked.
Yes,
or trivia answers are asked and questions are given as answers. That's the gimmick.
It's totally confusing.
Stupid.
But anyways, on Jeopardy, they have their little categories, and the contestants get to pick the category and blah 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 blah.
Sure.
And one of the categories this week was, well, actually, let me play the clip.
You're gonna play some
audio.
I'm
gonna play a little clip. Yeah,
fun.
Today, these categories in the first round: travel books, followed by celebrities' kids' names, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
What?
I'll take celebrity kid names. What is Apple?
Yeah. Also something you can eat.
Yeah, exactly.
This child.
This celebrity child is...
Okay. So anyways, yeah, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or the Mormons.
Or the Mormons. All right. So you're going to ask me some of the questions?
So I have the questions. Now, sadly, some of these also were associated with like an image that went up, but you'll get what it's talking about.
Okay. I'll take Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for 200, please.
Some of the thousands of... This one had video with it.
Okay.
Some of the thousands of young Mormons who travel far and wide are seen here.
Ding, 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 ding. What are missionaries?
That's correct.
Wait, are we on double Jeopardy or are we on single Jeopardy? I don't know what to ask for.
Just go to the next.
Okay, I'll take the next one.
Okay.
I'll stick with Mormons, please.
In this building, home of the church choir, a pin dropped at the pulpit can be heard at the back of the hall.
What is the tabernacle?
That's correct.
2 for 2. This is good.
Okay.
Keep going in the category, please.
Serving as one of the 12 of these, Marion Romney got closer to the presidency of the church than his cousin Mitt did.
What are apostles?
That is correct. In the sacred grove, seen here, he had a vision of God and Jesus in 1820.
Who is Joseph Smith?
Oh, there was more.
I
But
don't
you got
care.
it right.
I don't care. I got to beat these other guys out.
Yeah. The thing is, they don't open it until Alex finishes talking.
Oh, you can't really? You can't
I don't
buzz
think
in?
you can ring in early. Because he got tired of being interrupted. I think. The logo seen here is for the church's mega thrift store called These Industries. The word means honeybee.
What is Deseret?
Yay!
I ran the category.
So the contestants went for it first.
Uh-huh. Oh, really?
And cleared it.
And they
got them all right.
Wow.
There wasn't a wrong answer in the mix.
Wow. Deseret?
Deseret blew my mind. Even just coming up with
so
apostles.
Utah. Yeah, well, but 12, like Jesus had 12 apostles.
He had 12 disciples.
Oh, where's the word apostles come in? I don't know. That's impressive. Why
Yeah.
the hell would these people know that?
Yeah. It was...
I have good reason to know that.
Yeah.
So I get to sound smart, but I'm really impressed by, like, if you're not from Utah.
I mean, getting the missionaries, yes.
Oh, sure.
The guy who got
Missionaries are
the
easy.
tabernacle, he said, Tabernacle Choir. What is the tabernacle choir? And Alex was like, well, we'll take it, but it's just the building we're looking for here.
Yeah.
And Joseph Smith, that makes sense. People know the name.
Yeah, Joseph Smith. Yeah. And was there a picture of Joseph Smith?
There was both a picture of the grove and of Joseph Smith.
Oh, okay, so that's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Not easy, but for anyone who's educated.
It would clear out Brigham Young real quick for a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guarantee you Brigham Young never knelt in no grove.
He didn't kneel anywhere.
That
man stood and prayed.
That was not a kneeler. He was probably a nose breather.
I'm going to rule this state.
You guys should come over here and you should probably... I need more wives. I think we should grow bees.
Sugar beets.
We need beets.
We need a sugar processing plant.
Maybe we can have silk. We can make... Somebody get
silk.
Give me some silkworms. There. Okay, this is grossing me out.
There were Quakers on the moon.
Well, obviously there were Quakers on the moon. I think I'm keeping the beard, but I'm losing the mustache. All right.
There'll be a statue of me in this town. 2 of them.
It's too bad because what we've hit on here is something brilliant, which is, and now James Gandolfini as Brigham Young, and yet he's dead.
Oh,
we can't
why did
do
you
it.
wait until I was I'm glad I didn't get the glass of water fully to my mouth.
You almost did a spit take.
Oh,
we almost ruined Frank's computer with that.
I would have aimed toward the back.
Gandolfini is.
Well, was. Could have been.
In my heart, Brigham Young will be played by Gandolfini in heaven.
Oh,
that's what I'm going to see.
Yeah, okay.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and an all-star
An all-star cast
Utah history.
with James Woods as Joseph Smith.
Ooh, yeah.
And I don't know. And Jodie Foster as Emma.
Emma? Yeah.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler is wife number 3.
As Eliza R. Snow. Okay. Now we're just getting obscure here.
Liv Tyler, that was... What has she been in recently?
I don't know.
Yeah.
She needs to be in that, though.
Yeah.
She's a little cutie, is what she is.
Well, she was at least 10 years ago.
Yeah. For
Last
all
time
we know.
any of us saw her, she was.
For all we know, she's a cutie.
Yeah.
Hopefully she hasn't gone, taken any steps down her dad's road in terms of looks.
Right. Or I was thinking, whatever happened to Sinead O'Connor happened to... Have you seen pictures of Sinead O'Connor?
No.
Oh.
Is she still
did
bald?
not. Yeah. But middle-aged now.
Oh, dear.
She did not
Now
age
she just
well.
looks like a cancer victim?
Yeah, without the headscarf.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on. What?
No, it's you, isn't it?
Oh, it's me? Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So you're aware that in April, this coming April, the atheists descend on our fair burg.
Yay!
American Atheists big convention.
Yeah.
And it's like their 40th. It's like a big one. It's like a round number.
I think it was 41. Didn't they do their big anniversary last year?
They did the anniversary of the organization, and it was the 50th year of the organization. But I think this is their 40th convention.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I did not know that. We better confirm that.
We better confirm that. I swear I read it in the article, but that's okay. I can't find it now.
Okay.
Anyway, they're coming here, and in anticipation of it,
Yeah.
they, of course, because they're American Atheists, looked into billboards. They want to put up some billboards.
Of course, yeah. They love billboards.
They are a billboard-loving group of people.
Billboard building.
The billboard.
Bunch.
They're a billboard bunch. But unfortunately,
What?
none of the local billboard companies, sign companies,
What?
will let them put up a billboard.
What do you mean?
And they even watered it down pretty hardcore, considering their billboards, because they are the ones who do the most offensive billboards.
Yeah.
That's kind of their gimmick.
Right, that's how they get attention.
They wanted to put one up that just said, like, one of them has a little picture of a woman, stock photo of a woman, and it says, mother, teacher, military veteran, I'm Susan Smith, and and it's like, it's a play on the I'm a Mormon thing.
Yeah.
So it says, I'm a Mormon, and then that's crossed out. And then it says, I'm an ex-Mormon, and that's crossed out. And it just says, I'm an atheist.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That, for them, is as mild as it comes. That is, the truth is, all it says is, I'm an atheist. You know what I mean? When you boil it down, it doesn't say, I'm an ex-Mormon because Mormons are idiots.
No.
It just says, I'm an atheist.
Right.
Well, nobody will do it. Nobody will carry it. So the Salt Lake Tribune ran a big thing, which, here's what's brilliant. This works out better for American atheists.
Right.
Because an article in the newspaper costs them nothing.
Right.
And more people probably see it.
Right.
Than the billboard.
Oh, it's part of the strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If the billboard goes up, it gets a story in the paper. If the billboard doesn't go up, it gets a story in the paper.
Right.
They just pitch the story differently to the paper.
Right. Exactly.
So
yeah, they couldn't. The local companies are Reagan Signs and Yesco, and both were
no co.
Yeah,
this time,
Yesco said no co. No go from Yesco coming up. What's really stupid about this is that I was driving home from Syracuse, Utah, the other day.
Lovely burg.
Nothing is happening in Syracuse, Utah.
Except the destruction of our farmland.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Oh. You'll learn all about it this Monday, Dave.
I will. Frank's documentary is on TV this Monday.
This Monday.
At what time?
8 p.m., Channel 7.
Channel 7.
Here along the Wasatch Front.
For you locals.
Yeah.
Anywho, so I'm driving home from Syracuse, Utah, and somewhere in Davis County, roundabout Bountiful, which is just north of Salt Lake. It's not far from Salt Lake City at all. It's just barely north of it.
It's just north of North Salt Lake.
Right. Yes. Thanks for not confusing the issue. There's a big billboard that's put up by Answers in Genesis. You know this organization. This is the organization that like Ken Hovind does, and it's and like they're the ones that are doing the Creationist Museum in Kentucky and like stuff. And it's an anti-evolution billboard.
That's offensive.
That's utterly offensive. That's actually offensive.
Yeah. Maybe we should just start keeping tabs on like what is actually offensive that they're willing to put up, and just write them at least, send in and be like, and call them on it. Even if nothing comes of it, just be like, you guys are being inconsistent here.
Well, I happen to know that the Utah Coalition of Reason, the Utah, or chapter of the of the national organization, Coalition of Reason, has been trying to put signs on our transit authorities, like on the buses or the trains, the local trains, and they've been denied.
Right.
And the reason that UTA has given them, the Utah Transit Authority has given them, is that they're not selling anything.
Right.
So now that means that the Coalition of Reason people have to go into the UTA, look through all of their backlogs, and try and find somebody
that wasn't selling
something, and find a counterexample. And they'll probably find it.
No,
other
it.
churches have advertised, and it's not like the churches are like, come to our church and buy things.
Well, there is an inferred you'll give us money.
Well, there should be an inferred that with the Coalition of Reason too.
Well, what could they sell? They should sell some T-shirts.
They should sell our T-shirt.
Yeah.
Just throw our T-shirt up there.
Yeah. Sell something on your billboard. I mean, if that's all they're rejecting you for,
right?
Just put a little thing on it that says, "Hey, buy our T-shirts."
Don't believe in God? Buy the shirt.
Oh, will you call them up and suggest that?
I'll talk to somebody. Hey, I've got a workaround for your issue. It's good for everybody.
Don't believe in God? Buy the shirt.
Hey, speaking of buying the shirt,
yeah.
If you guys all go to Thank God I'm Atheist, we got they're selling like hotcakes out there. I'm mildly concerned that our system that's supposed to be counting them and making sure that we don't oversell them isn't working.
Is it not tallying the sales?
I feel like I don't know. And that's what's making me nervous. Anyway,
okay.
For right now, we've got plenty of shirts.
Okay.
Order and buy.
Yeah. And, if you buy a shirt and we happen to be out at that moment, it's not that hard to make more.
No, we're making more, so we'll just...
we'll keep up on it.
And please allow, some time for the shirts to get to you. Right now, we're still, like... sorting out how we do this.
It's
like
a two-man show with a two-man. It's a two-man operation,
and
here.
Both of us are very busy guys.
Yeah,
so we can get
shirts put in the mail.
Yes, we're doing it. I'm just saying, don't be.
Have you done it?
Yes. People have their shirts already.
Oh, excellent.
But other people don't have them yet.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
We're fulfilling
that's how
orders
it works.
as we do. Yes.
If you're receiving orders continually, then sometimes people won't have received them yet.
True. Okay. Let's move on.
So dumb. All right. So Darren Aronofsky. Do you know
the filmmaker?
The filmmaker, yeah.
I like to call him Darren.
Such films as let's see, The Fountain, right?
Sure.
And
was he Black Swan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Darren Aronofsky. That guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was tapped to make a or I don't know who came up with the idea actually, but he is creating a blockbuster version of the epic tale of Noah and his ark.
Is he Christian?
Well,
He's a guy that uses like mythos in his films, like really dramatically.
Oh yeah.
Like The Fountain was very into the sort of mythologies and stuff.
Yeah. There was all the Buddhist shit in that. There was that film was nuts.
Yeah, Pi. Didn't he direct Pi?
Did he direct Pi?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Do you have the full list up?
Sure. Yeah,
I can pull the list.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for us, the film is causing what's the word?
Hubbub.
Some anxiety,
Consternation,
a little bit of anxiety over at Paramount because some of the initial public tests, the public didn't really like some of the messaging.
Oh, really?
Film.
Oh, good.
And so it's quote troubling for Paramount.
Wait, can I tell you some of the cast from Noah?
Yeah, sure.
It's in post-production now.
Oh yeah,
it's coming out next year.
They've done tests.
Yeah,
in front of audiences already.
This is going to be great.
Yeah,
Emma Watson is going to be in it.
Okay.
Jennifer Connelly, that's going to be good.
Okay.
You want to know who plays the man himself?
Yeah, who?
Russell Crowe.
Shut up!
Master and commander of all of the whole world, because he's the only guy that can steer the ship anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Tony Hopkins is in it. Anthony Hopkins.
No way.
As
God?
As Methuselah.
Wow. Whoa. Okay. Okay.
Well, old man, you're gonna die. This is really...
I can't wait to see this movie.
I can't either. You and I are going to have to do a movie review.
Oh, yeah.
Of this particular movie.
However, so there was somebody got his hands on a version of the script. I don't know what stage of the version or whatever. But he was, I've never heard this description of a person before. Faith-based screenwriter. Brian Katawa.
Oh, that doesn't sound awful at all.
He says that he wrote a blog post about how the film was deeply anti-biblical in its moral vision. Well, what could possibly be anti-biblical,
right,
if it's also moral?
What? Oh my God! What's funny is
truly moral.
This is from the Old Testament.
Yeah,
there's almost nothing. Matter of fact, this is from Genesis.
Yeah,
there's nothing in that book that's moral.
Exactly.
That book is like pure amoral nonsense. It's crazed lunacy.
Right. Exactly.
So I mean, yeah, all you have to do to make it seem anti-Christian is tell the fucking story.
Tell the story, and you're fine.
And it's already as anti-Christian as it gets.
Yeah, and clearly what he's saying by anti-biblical is anti-Christian. Not even anti-Christian, just not in line with. Like, it doesn't have to come out as like anti-anything.
Yeah.
But Christians will feel attacked if their views aren't, honored or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, I think the interesting point about Christians, this is going to be fascinating. It is my dear hope that that this script followed very closely the story in the Bible.
I hope so. However, Aronofsky apparently has opted to use CGI animals, including fantastic beasts and some slightly altered versions of animals that we might expect to see.
Meaning that evolution has occurred since then?
Maybe. And obviously some things were killed off by the flood, I think would probably be the fantastical beasts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it says here that it has a March 28th premiere.
Oh,
release, rather.
Both Christian Bale and Michael Fassbender were considered for Noah. But they both
Fassbender?
Would have been an interesting Noah.
Yeah, it would have been.
But
handsome Noah.
I always think of Noah as old. You can't age Fassbender. He's too handsome.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't age handsome.
Whereas Russell Crowe, you can make that dude look.
Yeah, he'll age. You can age that guy. You don't even have to do anything. You probably do less than he ages.
Yeah.
You have to do more to young him up.
I mean, I mean, how old is Russell Crowe these days? 50-ish?
I'd imagine he's. Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's probably about. I mean, granted, Noah was probably about 800 when the flood happened,
right, or something. Yeah, some stupid amount that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Does the Bible say how old Noah was when the flood happened? We know how old he was when he died, right? I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's mentioned in the Bible.
I don't know. I mean, we know that he had sons, that he had kids, and that to my recollection, his kids didn't yet have kids.
Mm.
Do you remember mention of
young family
grandkids on the boat?
No.
I don't remember any mention of grandkids on the boat.
Well, the grandkids weren't. There wasn't enough room for the grandkids.
2 by 2, bastards. Leave those kids behind.
Yeah, unless you were of reproduction age, why would you be allowed onto the boat?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, because you're Noah's family, and of course you're going to save your own family.
Yeah.
But the guy down the street, too wicked to live.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
I'm fascinated. That'll be a really interesting, crazy movie to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be delightful.
It's just, can there be one moment? The ark is there. Can the volleyball from Castaway just float by? That's the image I want to see. I want to see,
yeah.
and then Tom Hanks, but not as that guy, but as Captain whatever.
The new one.
In the new one,
yeah.
He's like in his little orange dinghy,
yeah,
floating by.
Whatever, yeah.
Oh no, the new floating by movie is Bob Redford.
He's in a movie?
He's in a movie about like being stranded out on this high seas.
No.
By himself.
Life of Pi?
Yes.
Is he in the remake of Life of Pi?
He is. It's Life of Sundance.
Yeah.
And the tiger is different in this one. Now it's a moose and stuff. But it's fine. It's the same basic.
And he's really just out in the middle of the Great Salt Lake.
Right.
It's a strand. It's just stuck there.
He's just exactly. He's got an antelope on the boat. And,
yeah. There you go.
All right. The Vatican. There's trouble at the Vatican.
Oh?
This time it's not an argument between the Vatican and the Pope, though.
Oh, that's new.
So the Pope issues, the Vatican issues papal medals to people.
Really?
Yeah, like you've done well. Here's a medal that you get,
like a Congressional Medal of Honor type thing.
Right, exactly.
But it's a papal medal.
It's a Catholic Medal of Honor.
Right. Okay.
So way to not use any birth control. Here's your medal.
You had 20 children.
Right. Exactly. You get a medal. Well, they had to recall. They've withdrawn thousands of official papal medals.
Thousands?
From I guess they're Are they for sale? I guess they're for sale.
eBay?
They're produced in gold, silver, and bronze. Oh, it's more like Olympic medals, I guess. It's really
perfect 10.
Right,
right,
exactly.
On the vault.
And the gold medalist for popping out kids goes to Octomom. No, but they had to withdraw them because of a misspelling.
Oh no!
They misspelled Jesus.
What? No.
Yeah, they did. They did. It was in it. It's from a passage. They have the.
How did they misspell Jesus?
They have the papal motto printed on it, which is in Latin, and it reads.
I know.
Vidit ergo Jesus publicanum et quia misera blah 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 blah.
Okay, sure.
Which translates to Jesus therefore sees the tax collector, and since he sees by having mercy and by choosing, he says to him, "Follow me." Who knows what the fuck that means? But I think Jesus in Latin is spelled with an I.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
On these medals, it's spelled with an L. Lezus. It's lesbian Jesus.
Lezus.
Lezus. Anyway, that's pretty funny. Like of all the typos to make,
yeah,
Jesus, that's the one you don't want to misspell. You can
tax collector. Sure, misspell
Sure.
it.
Sure, yeah, exactly. You can misspell, sequere,
Right.
but you can't misspell Jesus.
Yeah. It's hard to misspell sequere though. It's exactly as it sounds.
Yeah. How badly do you want one of those misspelled medals now, though?
I bet they're worth.
That's a collector's item. You
That's
hang
like
on
the
for that
stamp with the plane that's upside down.
right. Yeah, you hang on to that for 10 years. You got yourselves a tidy profit.
Oh yeah.
Off of that.
Embarrassing.
Right.
It's embarrassing for the Catholic Church.
It's about time the church had a tidy profit.
Yeah.
Get it? Profit? I don't know. I'm
Oh,
just making a profit joke.
Oh, that was bad.
Anyway, well, there you go. Misspellings abound. Problems in the world. Well, if you guys want to get in touch with us and tell us how we've misspelled something, you can do so. You can go to our Facebook page and like us there.
That's true.
That's facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
Or you can email us. Our email address is podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Right. Or you can call us and leave a voicemail, as so many did for last week's show. That was really
fantastic.
nice. The number for that is number 1, country code 1, 424-666-8442.
Wow, Dan.
Yeah.
Also, we'd like to make a quick announcement before we go to our break. There's going to be a fundraiser this Thursday.
Yeah, for the Utah Coalition of Reason.
And the date for this Thursday would be what?
Oh,
the 24th?
Yeah.
The 24th of October. At the downtown CPK.
Not downtown.
Oh, it's not the downtown
It's the one down at what do you call it?
Fashion Place.
Fashion Place.
So in Murray.
At the California Pizza Kitchen in Murray.
Uh-huh.
So it's central to the entire valley.
Just right off of the freeway.
Everybody can come. All you do is you come and you order pizza. You meet us.
Yeah,
We're going to be there.
We'll be there.
You buy us a beer.
Sure, why not?
And then you buy yourself some food, and a percentage of all the food that you buy for you goes to the Coalition of Reason.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, we've been saying we wanted to meet up with our local Utah people. That's a great way for you to come and meet us.
It won't be like an official...
It won't be a TGI meetup yet.
But it will be, if you wanted just to come down and chat and hang out.
Yeah, come and hang out.
Buy some food. The part of the proceeds go to a good cause, and you get to meet us. So that'd be cool.
It is a win-win for everybody.
Yeah,
it's a dinner for science, is what they're calling it.
Oh, cool. So the money is going to...
It goes to science-related stuff. So
awesome.
I'll be full disclosure. I'm now on the board.
Yeah.
Of the Utah Coalition of Reason.
Well, Thank God I'm Atheist is a member organization now.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So I mean, I can tell you that they're a good group, and I encourage you to support them.
Absolutely. All right.
They owe me now.
Whatever.
I've now discharged my responsibilities.
There you go. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll just this is the just to set this up. Yeah. There was, because otherwise it will make absolutely no sense. This is a stenographer in the House of Representatives, the U.S. House of Representatives, who went a little nuts right at the moment when the House is about to, reopen our government.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, hey, talk about seizing an opportunity.
Yeah.
Here you go.
He will not be mocked. He will not be mocked. Don't touch me. He will not be mocked. The greatest deception here is this is not one nation under God. It never was. Had it been, it would not have been. No. It would not have been. Constitution would not have been written by Freemasons. They go against God. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. Praise be to God, Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, so she's saying,
I'm sorry,
it was never a nation under God.
Right.
Well, fine. Let's go with that premise.
Yeah. Right. Well, okay. Here's one thing. If you've been working in the House of Representatives for as long as she probably has been, and you still haven't gotten messaging any better than that,
yeah,
Script it out a little bit.
To be fair, she's the stenographer.
Yeah, but
She's not like a public speaker.
you'd think you'd absorb some of. She is now.
Well,
You think that girl's not going on the lecture circuit?
well, she got onto Greta Van Susteren,
Yeah,
and actually, this is what she
GVS have to say?
She said, "Oh no, did I close the page?
Oh, you idiot!
I'm an asshole."
Asshole.
Anyway, she went on to Greta Van Susteren, and she said something to the effect of like, I've been the Holy Spirit's been preparing me for this for the last 2.5 weeks, and sort of her initial reluctance.
Wasn't it like
and
she couldn't
blah, blah,
sleep? She was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Insomnia leads to some bad choices.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's one of the lucky federal employees.
Yeah, I know.
Like, she still had a job.
You didn't get furloughed, bitch.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut.
Well, they weren't going to have like some, member of Congress rapidly taking notes.
I just wonder.
They should have.
Right? Yeah. I just wonder. Does she think she's accomplished anything?
Well,
She got that yelled out. She said something about Freemasons writing the Constitution, and that's a horrible thing.
Horrible.
And Jesus Christ, she named him a couple times.
Yeah.
Does she think that anything was accomplished or achieved in that moment, other than her getting fired and never being allowed to work for the government again?
She got on Greta Van Susteren. Mission accomplished.
Well, I will say this. In the United States of America, TV is the greatest goal.
Yeah.
There is no greater goal.
If you're a lunatic and you're able to get on TV, that's it.
If you're a lunatic, if you're from New Jersey and you're able to get on, it doesn't matter what you are.
Yeah.
Getting on TV is it.
Yeah.
Even if you're going on TV literally just to humiliate yourself,
Well,
that's still acceptable by U.S. standards.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I would, I just think that if you're able to, because here's the deal: television stations across this country are on lockdown all the time. You have to be buzzed in. You have to go through. It's not like going into a courthouse or anything like that.
Right,
but
sure.
They have to know who you are.
Studios are not going to let you in.
Right. And even places that don't even have a live show on the air at the time,
right,
they are on lockdown.
Right.
And the reason for that is because lunatics walk into their lobbies all the time trying to get their stupid message on.
Right.
She got hers on. That's why I say she's a successful lunatic.
Sure.
It's because she actually had her breakdown at the right place, right? That went out. And then the producers at Greta Van Susteren decide, hey, let's get her on.
Sure.
So she had her platform. She actually was able to get into a TV.
She had her 15 minutes.
On the TV.
She didn't achieve anything for Jesus, but she had her 15 minutes for sure.
I think she did.
Oh, do you?
I think if people were watching Greta Van Susteren, which I can't believe I've said her name now 4 or 5 times. It's more than I've said her name in my entire life. Then she got out to people. And there are people who are now sitting at home going, she's right. She's right. This never was one nation under God.
Yeah, I think
this never was.
Those people need to go and find that good Christian nation. They need to get in their boats and with their families and try and sail to Tuvalu, or where did they go? I don't remember. Remember that family that sailed away and never quite made it to
Tuvalu?
No, that's not it.
Yeah, it was somewhere down in Samoa or something, right?
Yeah, near there. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah,
we have some emails. I'm gonna just start us off with Andy from the UK. Newcastle upon Tyne is this
a lovely sounding place.
Yeah, doesn't it? I don't know if it actually is. I've never been there, but I picture beer because we know about Newcastle Ale.
Sure.
I don't know if that's where it's from or not, but I picture beer and I picture a nice stream punting on the river.
Yeah,
the Tyne River.
That sounds lovely.
Anyway, Andy says, so I accidentally stumbled across your podcast in the summer, and it's the most amazing thing in my life at the moment. Well, obviously, Andy, we're the most amazing thing in your life. But he has an interesting story. He says, I got married to the daughter of a fundamental Christian 2 years ago, and a condition of the betrothal was that I converted.
Oh.
When you're in love when you're in love, you'll do anything to be with that person. And I thought I had nothing to lose. Suffice to say, shit hit the fan and we separated in April. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, Andy.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
I was down and out, and I was down and out that I sold myself out for something so worthless. Then found your podcast, and through it, remembered who I was again. Thanks, guys, for reminding me not to sell out or change for anyone, especially where your core beliefs are concerned. Keep on rocking, Andy.
Oh.
Well, that's great.
Well, I'm glad we were able to be there for him.
Yeah, you go with your bad self, Andy.
Yeah.
Go find yourself a good atheist girl.
No kidding.
Don't fuck around with these religious nut jobs.
Yeah, especially not anything that requires conversion.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if they love you for who you are.
Here's our this. I think we can make this an official TGIA position point, which is. Okay. It's a red flag if people want you to change your beliefs to marry them.
Right.
That's a big red flag.
Yeah.
You can marry somebody who has different beliefs than you, but if they're wanting you to change your beliefs,
yeah,
I'm going to give that a thumbs down.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Andy, good stuff. Molly wrote to us from Tulsa.
Okay.
She says she wishes she'd been listening during our road trip, but she found us afterwards. Yeah, that is a shame.
Yeah.
She's referencing something, and I don't remember what specifically what we were talking about, but we mentioned the thought that you could change your belief. And I mentioned something about, can you actually change your beliefs?
Uh-huh.
And she says, I have to disagree that belief, or the lack thereof, should be regarded as a choice. To illustrate, I'd like you to believe in the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus. Now, please. You can't do it, right? So why is it a choice to believe or disbelieve in another supernatural entity? You may choose to seek out or avoid evidence, but once you've seen the evidence, you really can't undo it and go the opposite way without a hell of a lot of cognitive dissonance. Not that I will point out, Molly. It's not that religious people aren't pretty darn good at cognitive dissonance.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, but the thing is, did they choose to believe that first thing? Right. That then led them down a path of having to sort things out.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great question. Do we choose to believe things? She's right. I can't. In point of fact, I cannot choose to believe in the Easter Bunny.
Right.
I could say that I believe in the Easter Bunny, but if I'm pressed, no, I don't believe in the Easter Bunny.
I think if you went, here's the question: if you went around saying for 10 years that you believed in the Easter Bunny,
could you talk yourself into it?
Could you, at the end of those 10 years, believe in the Easter Bunny?
I think so. Actually. I think if you talk a game for long enough, your brain will start to wire that game into yourself.
I think that there are little things every day that we choose to believe, whether it's out of a sense of denial or whatever. Little things that we know better, you know. I mean, like, that's the whole premise of like these feel-goodery, messages of like you are an important person.
Yeah, but
so
like affirmations.
Yeah, and you're sitting there and you're like I'm an attractive human being.
All of the people
love me.
I hate those affirmations because either you already know it and it's just real to you,
right?
Or you're just saying words that you know in your heart you don't believe.
But the question is, here's the thing: it must work at a certain point. You must be able to convince yourself at a certain point.
I don't know.
You must start after a while, because here's the deal. At first, you don't believe it.
Yes.
Right? And that's probably the as far as you or I have ever gotten with any of these things, right?
Sure.
Where it's just like, well, I don't believe it, so why would I...
I'm not going to try to believe.
Going here.
Evidence points me to this conclusion, and until counter evidence comes along...
Let's just say, let's say you're a single person, you're out on the market, right? You're looking for someone, and you are like, okay, I'm an attractive person. People who I'm attracted to are attracted to me, right? And you're going through this whole thing, right? At a certain point, you're going to have a couple successes, right?
Right.
Just because you're you, and whatever, that person was attracted to you.
Sure.
And so you had a reinforcement of that, and then at a certain point you start to trust it, right? And the more action you get, the more you believe that you're an attractive person.
Maybe. It just occurs to me that on some level, when you're sitting there saying this affirmation to yourself, you know that you're trying to trick yourself. Your brain understands that.
But I'm saying that there must be a point where you cross that.
Where the knowledge that you're trying to trick yourself is supplanted by the fact that the trick is working.
Right, yeah. Well, here's the deal.
Maybe.
Here's the deal.
I don't know.
I know for a fact, because I heard him say it, that my dad didn't believe in the Joseph Smith story when he joined the Mormon church.
Oh.
But he kept doing it, and he kept getting good callings, and he kept getting a lot of positive reinforcement. He bought into this community that was giving him a lot.
Sure.
And,
okay.
He was getting along well with his wife, who was Mormon before him, and, my mom.
Yeah.
And being happy about the community that he belonged to. Now, he believes in Joseph Smith and the whole kit and caboodle.
That's interesting.
People have a problem with the temple the first time they go through, but they keep going. They keep this is part of what I believe. This is part of what I believe. But
to
at a
my
certain
mind,
point, they get used to it.
To my mind,
and
that
they accept it
in their brains is an assimilation of what they accept as evidence. Meaning, your dad is going around gathering up evidence,
right?
Meaning, and to him, everybody treating him well, him feeling like an authority figure,
right?
All of that is evidence that the church is true, and then that becomes evidence that Joseph Smith actually,
right.
found
However,
gold
it ends
plates.
up working out. He chose, though, right? At some point, he chose just to go along with it.
Yeah.
And then the rest fell into place.
Yeah, I just feel like in some misguided level that he felt like he was testing the theory. He felt like he was doing, running the test.
But again, that's how I think these things happen. Well,
sure.
So can you just all of a sudden believe in the
choose
Easter
to believe?
Bunny?
No, but you could lead your brain down a pathway that could create a belief.
I think so.
That sounds right to me.
I think so.
That sounds right to me.
So but as we know, so much of belief happens in a moment.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
And so it's like those I don't think you can choose. That's just your brain working. Right?
Right.
But I think you can put yourself on a path toward,
yeah,
accepting a whole set of beliefs.
Yeah, possible.
Because I think people do it.
People do it.
People convert.
People start believing, crazy shit.
Yeah.
All the time.
And so, I don't know, like
people believe in these.
I think she's right.
Mm-hmm.
We can't, just all of a sudden believe like big things.
You can't believe something outlandish.
We can choose to believe little things.
Well, and you can choose to believe big things if everyone around you is believing it.
Mm-hmm.
And, because the Tooth Fairy, there's no society, there's no group of people around you that are all saying, no, it's true.
Right.
And trying to convince you. Like, there's no plausible...
Right.
There's nothing that a human brain could accept as plausible unless they're a little kid and they're getting $1.
Right. But then that child has been told by the people around them
right.
that the Easter Bunny's real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Thanks for writing in, Molly. We also got Ansley wrote in. Ansley is a youngin', 17 years of age, from a small town in Georgia. Ansley says, as I'm sure you're aware, Georgia is not home to many non-believers. Every single one of my close friends and family members, while all fairly accepting of my atheism, are Christians.
Yeah.
Listening to your podcast has helped me feel not so alone about the whole thing. I recently came out to my family and friends as an atheist. I can definitely say your podcast was one of the factors that encouraged me to tell them. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. I appreciate the positive approach you guys have instead of the superiority complex that many atheists seem to develop. Thank God I'm atheist is very refreshing to listen to. I look forward to it every week.
That's very cool.
Well, thanks, Ansley.
Yeah.
Can I call you Ansley? I don't know. That's
me?
No. Ansley.
My name's Frank.
Okay. Can I call you Ansley though, Frank?
That would be weird.
Can I call you Frankly?
Also weird.
Well, frankly, I agree with you. Okay. Well, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have a voicemail?
Well, I thought we had another email. Sam, I have it up. It came in 7 days ago, and I don't think we touched upon it last episode.
Okay. Read it.
It says I'm an LDS atheist. I don't remember that as an opening line. I'm an LDS atheist who has not been to church for over 6 years. Of course, wherever I move, the missionaries track me down and try to bother me. I have not officially left the church because I think it is ridiculous that I have to go to the trouble to write a letter when a simple "do not come back to my house" should be sufficient. The main reason I have not written the letter is my parents are still Mormon, and I don't want to kill my mother. While I do not bring up my atheism on my own, I do drink beer and coffee in front of them. I'm just not sure they could handle me never being able to repent. Back to the point, these bicycle riding sycophants are making my never been to any church in her lifetime wife uncomfortable. Is there any way to stop the intrusions without dancing their little jig? Interesting.
So you don't want to actually officially leave the church, but you want them to leave you alone.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, other than just when they come to your door saying, please don't come anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're pretty... You could put up, like, a picture of a missionary with a circle and a line through it on your door.
Yeah.
That would feel pretty unwelcoming to them. They'd get a dark feeling, and then they wouldn't want to go in.
Oh.
Or one of them would get a feeling like, I feel prompted that we should help these people.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like, if that's the routine, that they're just going to show up.
I would, I had people show up at my place for a while before I took my name off the church records, and it was literally just a matter of saying, "Oh, no, I'm not a Mormon anymore. Thanks." Right. And they'll say, "Oh, can we do anything for you? Do you need any help with anything?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, here, take this out to the trash." But other than that, there's nothing.
Could you write a do not contact letter?
Yeah, maybe.
Could you have a general restraining order taken out against all LDS missionaries?
I tend to be not overly sympathetic to this plight because it's so easy to get rid of them when they show up.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, but it's literally just a matter of like, never mind. Nope. Thanks.
There's another thing here though.
Yeah.
And I know that people have this sense that, you don't want to hurt your parents.
Right.
But the other glaring thing here for me is the whole name removal.
It's a quandary.
I mean, it's a tricky thing. It has to be the right moment for you, whatever. But I think it all goes back to, I mean, I just didn't want to be associated with them anymore.
Yeah.
And my parents' attitudes about it be damned.
There's something to be said for that. But then again, it's... Well, yeah, and it's not going to kill your parents, Sam. Let's not be...
Right.
Let's tone down the hyperbole a little bit.
And it's not like the ship has completely sailed. There is a mechanism to go back.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, if it's like this, you're not going to be able to repent thing.
No, you'll still be able to repent if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could get back into the church.
But I think, for me, I'll tell you, it didn't matter for years to me. Yeah. It was just like, I don't give a fuck. They can count me if they want to. I know I'm not Mormon, so it doesn't matter. And then they started campaigning against gays.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hell no, you don't get to count me.
Right.
If you guys are going to be like a-holes,
right,
you can't say that I'm associated with you.
Right.
So that was what was really important to me. Like, that was when I went on my reverse mission and got 80 people to take their names off of the rolls and everything.
Right.
And mine was the first name.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. Well, thanks for writing in, Sam, and all of the rest of you. We sure do appreciate it. Here's the voicemail that we have.
Hey, Frank and Dan. Congratulations on your 100th episode. I hope I'm not too late for the 100th podcast, but if I am, then so be it. This is Chris from Salt Lake. I love listening to you guys. I actually had a coworker overhear me listening to your podcast in the office, and that was the catalyst to start a lot of great conversations. We've become better friends, and found out that there are actually quite a number of free thinkers that I work with who I always just assumed, being here in Salt Lake, probably were not free thinkers. So, anyway, love listening to you guys. Tons of fun. I'm a monthly supporter because you guys are just awesome. Keep up the good work. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Well, there you go. Yes, you are late. You missed the 100th. So we played you on the 101st.
So, yeah.
Well, that's...
Well, congratulations to our 101st.
yeah,
Dan.
exactly. Well, yeah. Well, Chris is I get the sense that he's a little bit devious.
Mm-hmm.
Because his coworker heard us playing there. That means he's playing it out loud.
Or he was just laughing.
Okay, well,
Who knows? Who knows how it happened?
but well done. I'm glad that we could foster a free thinking
Yeah, that's exciting.
area. Yeah, I want to go work there. Well, I don't really.
Yeah,
I like what
I'd
do.
find out what it is first.
Yeah, exactly. But well done, well done. That's fun. Okay,
all right.
so Franklin,
Yeah,
last week you and I went to church.
of a sort.
Sort of. We went to a church show. The church show. Technically called A Night of Hope with Joel and Victoria.
Gag.
A night of blah.
Gag a maggot.
I don't want to bury the lead here, so I'm just going to say right out the chute. Boring. I know. I didn't know what to expect going into this thing, but I honestly didn't expect boring.
I didn't. I figured he gets like 20,000 people to show up every week down in Houston to his church, right?
He's a mega guy.
Yeah.
He's like the biggest there is.
And yeah, so I was expecting, first of all, just a good entertaining show.
Yeah.
And I was expecting some good talk.
Yeah, I was expecting rousing.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting vibrant.
Yeah.
I was expecting some showmanship.
Right. And not people feeding him lines over his earpiece. Did you pick up on that?
Is that what you feel was happening?
Absolutely. That part where he was like, "Oh, I don't remember what's next," and he'd put his hand down.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And he did it like 2 or 3 times.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did keep.
And it's like he was not playing off the fact that he was being fed a line very well, I don't think.
I just figured he so didn't care that he had his set routine.
Oh yeah.
And he was just like, now I've lost it. What is it? Oh yeah, it's this thing.
And he was trying to be charming and folksy about
I
it.
thought he was charming, and I thought he was folksy. I just thought he was also boring. I don't know. So I mean, we go there. We paid $20 a piece to go to this event,
And also suffered through traffic getting to the damn thing.
Oh my God, these people, these Christian people don't know how to drive. Anyway, we get there, we go into, and this is, by the way, in a sports arena.
Mm-hmm.
And so we show up. We're handed a pen and and a and a program,
Full color, multi-page.
Oh yeah, really nice.
You know,
Really
inserts.
Nice. And what's nice is one of the things about you and I doing church reviews is that we don't have to bring note-taking paper with us because almost every church hands you a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So we could just write down all of our notes on whatever paper they give us. So yes, all of my notes are on a paper marked "Special thanks. Victoria and I would like to recognize these ministries for their support of tonight's event." And there's only one minister that they're recognizing, which is Pastor Jim and Carrie Ayers of Life Church. Life Church. I'll tell you,
They worship life.
So the show starts out with a big, rousing musical number.
Oh,
And that's good. That's a
it
good.
was like "God Bless America" or something, right?
Oh, it
no,
started out with the national
It
anthem.
was the Star Spangled Banner.
We all had to stand up.
Yeah.
And most of the group didn't do it. Like I was like, okay, we'll stand up. And everybody around me was like, oh, I guess we're supposed to stand up. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And
We were kind of in the international section. I don't know if you noticed that.
I think I was surprised by how many. Yeah, it was like Mexican. It was like largely Mexican.
Well, Latino is what we.
Sure.
I didn't know their nationality, specifically their nationality.
Well, I mean, in Utah, Mexican means Latino. That's It's just code. Anyway, yeah, so it was largely Latino, and so that was a lot of, because I was wondering who goes to this in Utah. Like, that's part of the fascinating thing, is like seeing a non-denominational evangelical preacher come to Mormontown.
And can he rustle up enough people to fill the Maverick Center?
Right, which he couldn't.
No,
he didn't fill it at all.
No,
he got several thousand in there.
The floor was covered.
Right. So I would say, I don't know, how many would you say? A couple thousand? 3,000?
A few. I'd say there were a few thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, definitely, he made his money.
Yeah, $20 a pop.
Yeah. He did
$60,000 haul for one night.
And he doesn't have to pay taxes on any of it.
No. So you can just pay the AV people.
Right.
Who might be volunteers, actually.
Wouldn't that be some shit right there? So yeah, I mean, they've got a stage with some sort of effect. This arch in the back that's like
the video screen thing.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
That's kind of cool, and there's a couple screens on the side so you can see.
There was a smoke machine.
There was a smoke machine. They play the Star Spangled Banner, and then three singers come out. They've got a full band.
Yeah,
with a small horn section and three singers. All of whom, there's the white woman, and then the black woman and the black man.
Yeah.
And the white woman sounded exactly like Jenna from 30 Rock when she sang. Like, exactly. And she looked a little bit like her.
She was a little more Nashville.
Yeah.
Than Jenna Maroney.
Yeah. It was just really funny. It was just, I just thought, you know what? We might be in a joke right now.
Yeah.
This might be a gag.
It wasn't, though.
Unfortunately, no.
It totally was not. Oh, my God. What a pain in the butt that thing was.
Good singers, good band, but boring music.
Yeah.
I mean, rousing. Boy, they made it loud.
It was loud.
They louded that thing up.
Loud equals good for these people.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, loud.
The music was...
And then, you got people in the crowd with their hands up.
They were feeling it.
Towards the thing. Not everybody.
Some people were doing
rare.
the lower hands. You're doing the upper hands, which is fully above your head, like you're reaching to the sky.
Right.
There were people who were doing forward hands, which is more sort of just shoulder height.
Right. But like closed eyes and swaying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But what amazes me is I just don't... I in my mind, that behavior... it's basically like rock style music, right? It's incredibly loud.
Yes.
I expect the hand gestures and swaying, blah, blah, blah. I expect that behavior from a younger crowd.
Oh, really?
Some of the people were old.
Yeah,
who were doing that.
Yeah, but I feel like they know what they're doing. They know what. I mean, the actual old people that were sitting right in front of us.
Yeah,
they looked like they were like, oh, we have to stand up now. Okay, when do we get to sit? Okay,
they were enjoying the music, and that's what I think is so weird, because it was concert volume, almost concert volume,
right? Yeah,
and
turn down your hearing aids.
These are people who would be complaining about the volume at a concert.
Yeah, but not when it's Joel Osteen. Oh, he is just so kind and so good. And I'll tell you what, man. That guy's message. Can we get to the message? Which is literally just take any motivational speaker. Take your Tony Robbins. Take your who else is there? Motivational speaker. Anyone?
Tony Robbins is the big one.
Yeah. I mean, take your Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Add 3 Bible quotations, and you're there.
And
you don't have to go anywhere else. Yeah. It's literally just boom.
Well, what I thought was really interesting was that so it starts off and he's talking about God this, God that, God this, with you and God,
the Lord.
And God. Every once in a while, the Lord. And I was like, that's kind of funny. He's not saying Jesus.
Right.
But I didn't really fully my mind wasn't, I wasn't willing at that point to be like, oh, he's ignoring Jesus and the Jesus part of the message.
One of the original songs that we heard said something about Jesus.
Sure. But he, out of his mouth, He nor his wife, Victoria,
Right.
neither of them said it was just God, 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 maybe a Lord every once in a while.
Right.
He introduces his mother. His mother gets up there, and it's Jesus every other word. Jesus this, Jesus save me, Jesus this, Jesus that, Jesus that, blah, 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 blah. And then I realized everything that was missing. There was no saved by grace. There was no, put yourself in his hands. There was none of that.
That's true. His mom, what's interesting is that we did get sort of the story of Lakewood, their ministry. And apparently it was his dad's ministry, and his mom participated in that.
Right.
So she's an old hand at this.
Oh, yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
She
can get up and just spew out a bunch of nonsense. None of these people were trying.
No.
Let me just be clear about this. Nobody was trying.
No.
The band was trying.
Yeah.
The
Jenna Maroney was trying.
Was really trying. But anyone that was saying spoken words to us, none of them were trying. They were just like, whatever blather fell out of their face was what they were ready, and at one point, he's introducing his mom and he starts to tell her story, and he introduces it by saying, well, I shouldn't tell her story, but here's what happened, blah, blah, blah. And she starts to walk out to him, and at one point he waves her off. Like, no, go back. And like she starts again, and he waves her off again. Yeah. Like literally she had 3 false entrances.
Right.
And finally he lets her back on. He lets her come on, and then just stands with her while he blathers some more. Right. And then he gives her the mic.
Right.
It was weird.
Well, I think they can't control her. No, I'm serious. Like everybody else there was this very sort of watered down, very clean, cleansed of Jesus message, right?
Not just cleansed of Jesus, cleansed of anything offensive to anyone.
Yeah.
Nothing is allowed to offend a single person.
And she could.
She might go off that track a little bit.
I could see it.
It's not like she was going to go far.
She's old time. Yeah. She's old school, old time religion. She speaks, and believe me, that woman has been at a revival in her day.
Oh yeah,
she's ran.
Oh yeah,
she has run some revivals in her day. You could hear it, you could feel it. She could get a crowd worked up, but they don't. They don't let her.
She said, I remember she was talking because Osteen himself introduced her by saying that in the 80s, he started talking about how in the 80s she had a cancer that was untreatable.
Yeah.
Untreatable. She was just going to die and blah, 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 blah.
Well, cancer it's still terrifying, but in the 80s, it was a death sentence.
Sometimes, yeah. A lot of the kinds of cancer. And this kind of cancer was liver cancer, I think, and it was just never going to happen. Right. And she was going to die in blah, 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 2 weeks.
No. There was cancer in her liver. Did you hear them say that? They didn't say liver cancer, did they?
I don't know.
Because they slipped later with the story, and they said that it was a non-metastasized, non-localized cancer.
Oh, really?
Or it was a metastasized, non-localized, or something like that, which means it was like all over her body, but it wasn't actually like a cancer of anything specific.
Huh.
So whatever little treatments that they had worked great. But they say it was a cancer in her liver. Well, it wasn't liver cancer.
And they said that the doctors told her that there was no way she could possibly live from it. And they prayed, and she got better. Ta-da!
Yeah,
miracles.
Guaranteed she was also on some, like, the best medical care money could buy.
How dare you, Franklin? Miracles! Miracles!
And maybe a doctor said, wow, this recovery has been remarkable.
Miracles. Anyway, he's going through this whole story. What's great, the moment that I lived for, that no one else in the room of thousands caught, was when she said, she was talking about praying and being healed. And she said, now, I don't recommend that you do that.
Right.
She actually said, I wrote that word down, that phrase down in quotations. I don't recommend that you do that because then I could be sued.
Right.
Possibly.
Right. Well, probably not. Actually,
no, probably not.
But what I think is great about that is that, I mean,
she knows full well that's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're telling this faith-promoting story all the while. They know it was medical science. They just need a good story.
Right. I just love that. I love that she was like, no, I don't recommend you do that. The story,
though, that really bugged me, was Victoria's borrowing the car story.
Oh, it was such a good story.
It was an amoral lesson.
Why don't you tell? Do you want me to tell the story and you can give us the moral of the story?
I'll tell the story.
Okay, tell the
I'll
story.
tell the story. So Victoria, Joel Osteen's wife, is like, she starts talking about her dad and her relationship with her dad, and how when she was like 16, she'd just gotten her driver's license. She was asked to go to the grocery store, right? To go pick up some milk, I think was the gist of it.
Sure.
And she was told to go directly to the store, do not stop anywhere, and come directly back.
Yeah.
And so she says she gets in the car and she goes straight to her friend's house. Her friend piles in, and then they go, and they're en route to the store, and something happens. What did they get in a little fender bender? What was it? The window. She was told, do not roll down the window.
Yeah, he said, don't roll down the passenger window. It's off the track.
Right.
If you roll down the passenger window,
Right.
you know, everything's bad in the world's going to
Right. And so she tells her friend immediately something. But anyways, the window gets rolled down because they're like yelling at some people
cute,
they know,
cute boys on the side of the road,
and the window shatters.
It's dun dun dun.
And so she immediately turns around. She goes home, and she says, "Father," right?
She decides to own up to it.
Yeah, and she tells her father, and he just immediately forgives her.
He smiles.
He smiles. Forgives her. She completely flat out disobeyed him.
She's done everything wrong,
Right.
and yet he forgave her.
He forgave her immediately. No questions. He didn't yell. He didn't scream. He just
said, okay.
And so I'm like, that is a shitty life lesson. You can go out, disobey, and there are no consequences?
What do you think the life lesson is of the whole concept of repentance?
Well, yeah.
I mean, this is right. This is Jesus right here. I don't think that that's a shitty life lesson. I think that the life lesson should be that we need to. People are imperfect, and forgiveness is good.
Forgiveness is good.
I find.
However, I think the good life lesson for a child would be, okay, you need to pay for it.
Yeah, I forgive you. You'll have to work for 3 weeks to
there was
pay it
nothing
off,
of that in there.
No,
right?
Well, she forgot that line. That line was supposed to be in there, and she just forgot to say it because they were half-assing this whole fucking thing.
She presented us with a shitty life lesson. She was teaching parents bad parenting, and she was teaching that you should be able to just go and do whatever, and be a scofflaw,
right?
And there will be no consequences.
Yeah.
It was shitty. I was just like, that's a fucking horrible story.
You want to know one of the funniest? So the message, the one that I picked up on that occurred to me could be a really bad message. Was, and I get where he was probably coming from on this, but when Joel himself said, love family, but love some of them from a distance. You have to love family, but love some of them from a distance. And I just thought, I think what he probably means is there are assholes in everybody's life.
Right.
You don't have to love assholes. If your dad beat you, you don't have to like be in his life anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think what a good chunk of people that hear that think is, oh, good, I don't have to acknowledge my gay nephew.
But love him. Just from a distance.
I love him from a distance, but I don't have to look at him because he's disgusting. That's what I think somebody's going to take from that. Although Osteen himself refuses to condemn gays, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because he refuses to do anything because he is the most milquetoast human being on the earth.
I will say this for him. They have some fantastic morning show quality graphics.
They do indeed.
Yeah. They're really good.
Good Morning Houston.
Yeah. Oh,
with Joel and Victoria Osteen.
Just as easily could have been morning show presenters.
Oh yeah, you look at this. We're looking at the at the cover of the brochure of the program that we were given, and these two could be, yeah, they could go all the way to New York.
There's a third person not in the photo who does the weather.
Right. Exactly.
And the local news.
There's a fat black dude who does the weather. and Asian reporter Trisha Takanawa.
Yeah. And these two just sit on the couch.
Yeah, and boy, do they have fun. They just have fun. Oh my God.
Tease each other.
Right. I think they could do it. I think those two could have a national show.
They could.
They could be right on right before Kathy Lee and Hoda.
They could. Actually, that would be the best place for them.
Yeah, that's where they belong.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
boy.
whole mega, although they're making a fortune.
Yeah, and not paying taxes on
moment.
it. I will reiterate that.
Well, I mean, his take home, he has to pay some taxes on.
I don't think so. Not as a minister.
Well,
there's special rules.
He has breaks and all that
Special
kind of
rules
stuff.
for ministers.
But
I'm sure his take home is like, I'm sure that the ministry pays him like $20,000 a year.
Well, what they've probably done,
and everything else, his house is owned by the ministry.
It would be set up as a rectory.
Right.
Right.
Everything is owned by the ministry.
Right.
And his take home pay is like $20,000. Like he's probably
I would
poverty
say,
level.
I don't think there's no need to go that far with this because they're
there's
hiding
no need
millions.
There's no need not to go that far.
But you do need some money to have your luxuries and your extravagances.
Anything that the ministry couldn't pay for?
I don't know. Personal gifts to each other? Guaranteed she's got some rings that are worth $20,000.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah.
If not $500,000.
Oh, I like there was a song at one point, the chorus of which is, "There is no one like our God." And I was
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, there is no one like this guy that you keep bringing up. There's no one like that. I've met a lot of people. I've sort of seen how humanity ends up looking. There's nobody that can do the magic tricks that this guy ends up doing.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Any other thoughts?
I don't know. He doesn't mention Jesus. He mentions he says that his dad went to the Lord. Yeah. And then he doesn't mention the devil either. But he does mention that there's an enemy.
There's an enemy.
You have an enemy.
Yeah. But that could be your douchey neighbor.
Yeah. Exactly.
Know?
And that's how he talks about it too. You have an enemy that's trying to hold you back. It could be your own psychology.
Yeah.
Your own psychology is holding you back.
Yeah.
Because his whole message is just about like your destiny. Boy, he talks about destiny.
Yeah.
Your destiny is greater than what you have today. And if it wasn't, then God wouldn't have a reason to keep you here.
Yeah.
There's no reason for God to keep you in this life if you don't if your destiny isn't better than what you have today. Huh. And I just thought, wow, you are giving you're making a pretty bold statement for a lot of people whose lives are probably going to remain just as shitty as they are now. I mean, the probability that most of these people
want to believe this.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
It's the easiest message.
Books.
It's the easiest way to get them to give you money in the whole world is to say, I have reason to believe your life might get better.
Not just better. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
You and God.
Your destiny.
You and God have great things coming.
I mean, I liked some of the things he had to say. Like, one of the things he had to say was, it was basically a pick your battle message. And what's funny is that he used the word battle. And he said, if this battle, there's all these battles that are off on the side. And if this battle isn't between you and your destiny, don't bother with it. Don't waste your energy on it. If this battle isn't between you and your destiny.
Yeah.
And I actually think something to that. You're wasting energy if you're, if you're not pursuing what you really desire in this world.
Yeah.
Then why are you bothering to fight with Frank in accounting over, whatever? Why are you keeping your office rivalries up?
I know. Yeah, because
not you,
they're
Frank,
fun.
in accounting.
They're fun.
Just whoever. Yeah.
It's
a nice diversion.
You get used to them, right?
I like holding on to my.
I have a rivalry at work right now.
Do you?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. I don't even have a work to have a rivalry at.
I know.
When you're self-employed, it's harder.
I know.
I can't establish any rivalries. Could be like that Dan guy. He's an a-hole.
Yeah.
Self-rivalry. That'd be interesting. I'm gonna have to sabotage myself. See what happens.
Oh well, there you go.
So I think final recommendation. Don't do this. That would be a mistake.
Not a good use of your time, people.
No. Yeah.
More money.
Honestly. Yeah. If it's not between you and your destiny, don't go to Joel Osteen. If it is between you and your destiny, I'm fascinated.
what your destiny
Tell
might
me,
be.
write to me and tell me more about your destiny, because that doesn't make sense to me.
You might work at one of these arenas,
That's true.
you know?
In which case, even if you can get in for free and you're curious, we've just given you plenty of reason. Don't bother.
Yeah.
Go and drink instead,
Yeah.
and you'll be much happier.
Yeah. Was the bar open at the Maverick Center?
I don't think you could get a beer. I think you could get like some pretzels or something.
There were popcorn and pretzels. And
But you couldn't. I don't
hot
know
dogs.
that we should have snuck in booze. That
But
would have been so much
yeah,
smarter.
and we could have, because they were just checking the ladies' purses.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We could have smuggled in some booze.
Yeah.
That would,
right.
Oh, thoughts for the next time.
All right. Well, Facebook.com/TGIAtheist is how you can find us on Facebook.
Absolutely. Or email us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
And our voicemail telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Don't forget that you can go onto our website, thankgodimatheist.com, and you can donate to us and help us run our show, or you can buy a T-shirt. They're
Yeah.
handsome, they're fun,
Yeah.
and they're not overly expensive.
No, completely reasonable. All right, and also thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for letting us use their music at the opening and close of our show.
It's a wonderful thing.
And so everyone have a nice week.
To see you next week.
Bye bye.